What's up, guys? On this week's show,
Nintendo's making it rain?
Pika Pika!
And has the devil put aside for me?
All that and more on this episode
of One Giant Leap for Geeks.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks. Welcome to another episode of OGLFG, where we talk about movies, video games, and all things in geek culture. I'm your host, Mike C. Squared. With me are my co-hosts, Benwah.
When Mel said Pika Pika, it got me thinking about Little Caesar's Pizza, and now I'm thinking about Pikachu serving me a deep dish.
And DJ Melly Mel.
Hey!
Before we get started, kiddies, Jesus, that sounded really weird.
Hey, kids!
Right. Hey!
Hey, where's your van?
Right, I know. Hey,
Creeper.
guys, want some candy, kid?
Creeper.
Before we get started, I want to let you know, if you enjoy the show, tell some friends about us. Share us on your social media. Whatever you choose to do, you are helping us let others know about the best damn podcast they've probably never heard of. Now, if you want to talk to us, the show is on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. You can get a hold of our resident DJ Melly Mel at Froggy Beaver, and Benwah is at Benwah Gaming. That's BENWAH Gaming. Before we get into the meat, the nitty gritty this week, what you been doing?
Honestly, this week's been rolled up into one big blur.
Oh, yeah?
I can't tell, like...
I remember my first beer. It was nice.
You. No, I can't tell, like... What, like, I've had to think about what day it is.
It's
about
Tuesday.
3 times
as
today.
we're recording this, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to be 2 feet in a water somewhere with a coconut in my hand and...
Well, you can talk about your get up today. Today is Fat Tuesday. Mm-hmm.
Happy Mardi Gras.
Yes. For those who don't associate Fat Tuesday with Mardi Gras, Punchki Day, if you're in the Midwest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Polish towns.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, a punchki is like a fried baked donut thing with powdered sugar on it.
It's a fucking donut.
It is. People try to dress it up. It's a jelly donut.
It's a stuffed donut.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's a jelly donut with some freaking powdered sugar on top.
People always try to make it seem like it's some like special thing.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you can
really
get
not.
it. Like, go to Dunkin' Donuts, buy one.
Yeah.
You can get one literally every day.
If you're in Louisiana, then Mardi Gras is like an entire week-long celebration with beads and tits and the red or the purple and green and yellow and king cake. That sounds like a party that we all need to be at.
Yes.
I would totally be down for being at a Mardi Gras celebration. And of course, the chicken chases, which nobody knows about that unless you're from Louisiana. So
I think I saw that in a Rocky movie once.
yeah. But he was...
I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon was chasing chickens to prepare for his fight against Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh
Yep.
my
See, they were chasing chickens for training.
Oh, okay.
In Louisiana, they chase chickens to A, get the chicken, and B, win money.
Oh, so for sport.
Yes,
Oh,
for
shit,
sport.
sweet.
And it is exactly what it sounds like. They take a chicken, they throw it up in the air, it runs around on the ground. When it lands, you have about 6 drunk dudes chase it, and whoever gets it gets to keep the chicken. They get a trophy, they get some money, and then they get another beer.
Oh, nice.
Hey, I've seen it happen.
All right, Benoit. What about you?
Well, I actually did get some punchkis this year. I normally don't
Fuck you,
because I try
Ben.
to avoid all the... Whoa! Whoa! Okay. Jesus Christ.
I'm donut
yeah,
deprived.
fuck me. Maybe you should show up into the podcast last week.
So you got some punchkis this week.
I did. Well, actually, yeah. This is the first year in a long time that my aunt has not called or texted me asking me if I wanted a punchki. Which is probably just because I always say no because I try to avoid those. But I went out the Subway because I had some coupons come in the mail. And for the first time ever, I had a chicken bacon ranch melt at Subway.
Ooh.
Which, to be honest,
Yummy.
it actually was pretty good. Like, Subway subs don't normally fill me up. So I'll get a foot long, and I'm like, I'll eat it all. I'm like, an hour later, I want to eat some more. But
That's why you
I
go to
actually couldn't
Firehouse.
even... See, I'm not going to drive to the other side of Saginaw for that. That'd be a hell of a drive for me. A boring drive. I won't even drive 15 minutes away. I don't like driving to work. That's how bad I am. But anyway, I got that, and I went to Kroger, and I guess there is this new Coke, orange vanilla Coke. I bought a 12-pack of that, and it's not bad.
I saw that in stores.
It's not bad. And I did wind up stopping at the local bakery for some homemade punchkis. I only wanted to get one, and I got talked into getting 3 because food. I got one. I ate one that was blueberry filled. I have another one that is chocolate filled. Just chocolate pudding. And apparently they made one with a pineapple filling.
Ooh,
interesting.
Yeah, and I look forward to absorbing those 3,000 calories.
Well, if you would like, I will certainly take a hit for you and take that chocolate-filled one on my way home.
Oh.
I got to pass your house anyway, so...
Oh.
You will end up passing my road, and to be honest, I might say, yeah, come stop by and get it.
Like,
I might have some beads for you when you show up. No, I'm just playing. I ain't got no beads.
It's Fat Tuesday!
I also bought myself a new sleep mask because I haven't had one of those in a couple years. Just a cheap one from Meyer. Because it really does help me sleep. Like, if it's not so much noise, I can typically fall asleep with, like, background noise, but I like to keep my room as dark as possible. And I got blinds, so sometimes light sneaks through. But when I put on that sleep mask, it really does help me sleep.
Sleep masks are really cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, there was a lot of silence. You guys expect me to say some more? Because I'll keep going.
No. I was... God, no. I was waiting.
No.
No,
Okay.
no.
I'll say,
no.
I'm serious about that Punski here. I'll make a pit stop on my way home.
I am serious, too. I really don't need that many of them. That's... you could probably take one bite of one and be fine for the day.
Oh, God. Now I want some donuts. Okay, well, my week is pretty boring. I usually try to have some kind of funny anecdotal story about, how I'm going to shit my pants at the gym or, I hurt myself or did something like that. Nothing really exciting. I mean, I'm kind of like in a routine at this point, but I did, for any of you gamers out there who are interested, I did finally start trying out Red Dead Online, and I've been enjoying it so far. If anybody wants to play with me, my gamer tag is MikeC8604. So if anybody out there, I'm on PS4 though. So, sorry, Xbox people and PC, whatever, fight me.
I say T-Money's got a PlayStation, but I don't think he has that game.
But I, up until this point, have been boycotting the PlayStation Network because you have to pay for it now.
Uh-huh.
I'm used to the PS3 where I can just get on anything, play GT Online for free. No worries. I switched over to the Xbox for a little bit. Mistake, because now I was just sitting there collecting dust. And I had to pay for Xbox Live for a bit and kind of got burnt out on the Xbox. Went back to the PlayStation, and I have my 30-day free trial, I think, or so, of the PlayStation Network. So if you want to play with me, you got to do it within the next month because I'm not paying for this shit. No. If I get addicted to it and if I have time to get it in, I'll probably keep going. But yeah, no, so far I've been really enjoying it. If anybody out there hasn't played the first Red Dead, the online mode in the first one, it was okay, but it was just basically a lot of free roaming with like kind of a little bit of, like co-op matches sprinkled in and stuff like that. But it was just a lot of just wandering around, just killing people randomly. And Red Dead Online was kind of like the precursor to GTA Online, and they kind of built off of that, and this is kind of like a progression from that. It's funny, too, because I just started playing it, and I've been watching YouTube videos of people talking about how Red Dead Online is dead, and this, that, and the other, and it's trash, and they don't have enough shit to do, and da-da-da. And so far, I've been having a good time, so I don't know. I'm not what the kids would say, a hardcore gamer, # get good, but... whatever. So yeah, no, if anybody's interested in playing with me, like I said, gamer tag is MikeC8604, so come join my non-existent posse or invite me to your posse. I need friends. I'm just kind of soloing it right now and getting killed by randos. So yeah, that's been about how my week is gone.
Maybe that's what I need. I need like a death race video game or like a boxing. I'm going to go home and play 2K with T-Money.
Mike Tyson's, what was it, Punch-Out? What was that one?
Yeah.
No, Mike Tyson's ear biting.
Right, the game. Anyway.
I need like a boxing for the Wii. Because then I can actually jab. And...
Yeah, Wii Sports had it. Yeah.
Yeah, Wii Sports has
and they
boxing.
had
That's
tennis
what it.
and
That I
golf.
need Wii Sports.
There you go. You need to get a Wii.
I have a Wii.
Oh, well, then it should already came. Oh, did you get like a used one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, it should have came with the game, but
Nah.
anyway, moving on.
New Orleans' first Mardi Gras parade was 177 years ago, and Mardi Gras is always the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday. It is also known as Pancake Day. Some fun facts for your bitch ass.
I know this is wrong to say this, but fuck them. I don't care. I still don't want this movie to come out because I don't want this muddying the water when they finally do bring the X-Men into the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
But we got another trailer for the supposed Dark Phoenix movie that is supposed to possibly, maybe, kind of, sort of coming out. Who knows?
Sometime this year, it says.
Yeah, I thought this shit was dead in the water, but...
June 7th.
Yeah, they keep on pushing forward. Like,
oh, no,
nope, we
June.
promise. Like, we promise
7th.
it's coming. You just wait. You see.
I don't want this.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I believe I was the one that sent you this trailer with the caption that said, "What the fuck is this?"
Yep. But, to be fair, and to kind of play devil's advocate, this does look far and away much better than that first trailer they put out. Because the first
True.
one they put out was just hot garbage. Like Gabage,
True.
garbage. No R, garbage. It was terrible. But so did the Suicide Squad second trailer.
Yeah.
That's my caveat. Because the first trailer for Suicide Squad, I was like, and then when they did the other one with Bohemian Rhapsody, that was the good one. And everybody was like, oh, this looks dope. And then we went and seen it, and it was like, what the fuck are you doing to my eyes? That being said, though, I mean, there are a little few things that I caught in the trailer. It looks like they're killing off Mystique.
Yeah.
Like Jennifer
In
Lawrence
the very beginning, yeah.
Yeah, kind of been like sleepwalking through these movies for a while, and she's kind of made it a point to say that
I don't think she wants to do it anymore.
She's not feeling this shit no more. So I think she's found a way for them to just kill her character off and be done with it.
Which is also garbage, because that's just not how it goes.
Yeah. But honestly, though, I would rather them kill her off than stop trying to make Mystique a main character. Mystique is a villain.
Yes.
Mystique is a support character. She's a good character,
Mm-hmm.
but she does not lead the X-Men. Like, and that's
No.
what they keep trying to do in these movies. And I'm like, we get it. People like Jennifer Lawrence, but stop trying to make her an integral part of the team. Like, Mystique is not a X-Men.
No.
I'm like, she's like a chaotic good at best, but she is not like, oh, you know, I'm finna get my own X-Men suit and shit,
she
and we
never
finna
had
go
a
out
suit.
and... No. I was like, this is... No.
Lots of outfits, but never an X-Men suit.
No, hell no. Now, that being said, even if this does come out, I'm almost certain this will be the last of this version of the X-Men movies that come out before Disney reboots it. So, I will be sad to see James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender leave,
Yeah,
because I
'cause
do like them. Like, of everything that they've done with these movies, that is the best part, is, you know, James McAvoy as Professor X and Michael Fassbender as Magneto and their relationship. I like that. But everything else, I'm like,
Nah.
Though, is there anything about the trailer that you guys liked? Like, any, like, action sequences or anything like that? Because there's one that I thought was kind of cool.
I mean, they're trying,
Sure.
and it just kind of seems like it's recycled material.
It still feels a lot like X-Men: The Last Stand.
Yeah.
It still does.
And I don't like what they're doing with Jean.
No.
There's
No.
nothing in this movie that the way that they're presenting her, I don't like.
No.
There's nothing in it that I do like.
No.
I saw this and I was just like, eh.
It's like just a wet flop. And
Yeah, like, wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah.
What about you, Benwah? Is there anything about this that at least intrigued you?
Yes, somewhat.
Sure.
Near the end of the trailer, they looked like they were Professor X, and maybe it was Cyclops too. I don't remember who it was, but they looked like they were captured and in like collars similar to what was in Deadpool 2 when he got sent to the icebox.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, all right.
And they're like, she's coming.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole trailer was basically like Jean Grey presumably kills or really hurts Mystique, who's like, "You're my friend, I love you." And then she's like, "Why do you make me do this?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "When I'm scared and I lose control, bad things happen." And Professor X and everybody's like, "She's gonna kill us." And
that bitch crazy.
And the Phoenix is like, "You can be a god." And she's like, "But I love them." "You can be a god. She gonna kill us."
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end it's like, "She's coming." And I'm like, Is this Phoenix or like a really bad case of PMS? Like, what is happening right now?
Right.
Because it really in no way intrigued me at all, except for when I saw them, like I mentioned in the end, with like the collars on, as if they had been captured.
Yeah. And
it's like, wow, you jumped to probably like 3/4 of the way into the film.
Yeah. I feel like they're giving away a pretty integral part of the story in the trailer.
Like, what? How the hell they wind up in that?
Yeah. The only like actiony thing. Okay, there's two things that I thought was kind of cool. Okay, three. All right. Maybe I'm coming around on this one. I don't know. 3. The first was I liked that they seem like they're kind of trying to stay true to the original story in the comics, where the Phoenix is like an entity from space, because you see him in the shuttle and then the fire goes into Jean and she's all screaming and shit. That looked cool. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, maybe they're kind of trying to stay true to that a little bit, but they're still doing this like, oh, we subdued her real power and she didn't know. And I'm like, you did this in X-Men The Last Stand. This was literally the exact same plot of that movie. Professor X put like mental blocks in her mind so she couldn't use her full potential because she was too dangerous. And then it comes out and now she's a crazy bitch. And I'm like, that's not the Dark Phoenix story. That's some shit y'all made up in these bullshit ass X-Men movies. But that scene looked cool. The second thing that I thought was cool was when Magneto makes all the guns come up and they're shooting and shit. Mm-hmm. That looked kind of cool because
it always does, though.
Yeah, I'm like, I always like to see different ways that they use his magnetism power, and I was like, yeah, that's a cool way to use that. Just have him shoot people and shit. It's like, yeah,
I don't have to. That though. He's done that in a couple of X-Men movies.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. But it still looks cool. It
does look cool. But I mean, it's been done.
Okay, like, that's fair. That's fair. But the visually, at least story-wise, there was nothing that really had me like, ooh, I can't wait for this. But visually, the very last scene that Ben was referring to when they were in that transport truck with the collars on, and you know, he's like, she's coming, like she's like floating in the air, and she makes the train like come off the ground, and it's like spinning in the air and shit. That looked cool.
That did look cool. You're right.
But that doesn't mean the movie's gonna be good. But it looks pretty cool.
I mean, that scene might be.
You're right. Right, they're just gonna cut that part out. So the one thing that I did like about it wouldn't be in the movie.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure. Because Benwah was saying, like, it looks like they either might kill or hurt Mystique. It may be a misdirect because it is a trailer, and sometimes they do misdirect you in the trailers. But after they show that scene where she, like, throws Mystique, they're having a funeral for somebody at some point because they're in the rain, and Beast is, like, dripping. I don't know if he's crying or he's just wet fur or some shit in the rain. I don't fucking know. But there's a plot right there that they're all standing around. So somebody's dead. Who? I don't know. Maybe they killed off. No, they're not gonna kill Cyclops again. They already did that in X-Men: The Last Stand and shit at the very beginning of the fucking movie.
They seem to be taking a lot from X-Men: The Last Stand. So
maybe Quicksilver, because they show him. Okay, 4 things. I'll just keep adding things. When he's running up the debris towards Jean, that looked cool.
I like the look that she gives him.
Yeah.
Like, she gives him this look like, really?
Like, bitch. She's I'm gonna set your bitch ass on fire.
Pretty much.
From the inside. But,
Pretty
I mean,
much.
I don't know. Like, even if this looked like this would be the best X-Men movie they've ever made, I still wouldn't support it. Because it's like, I want to see them interact with the rest of the MCU.
Yeah.
Just like, I will not support another Spider-Man movie that is not in the MCU. I will not support another X-Men movie that's not in MCU. We have built up too much dope shit over here for y'all to keep going, hey, look at us over here. We got this shit. No, I don't care about that no more. You're dead to me. You're dead. No. Bad dog. No. But anyway, I mean,
Now-
you go ahead.
Now, the woman who plays Storm in this, she did look like she really could be the daughter of Halle Berry.
Yeah, yeah.
I like how she.
Okay.
they
I like
did
her. She's
I like
sexy.
how they
like
did her hair in this one.
She looked nice.
When they found her in the what was it?
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
She had like the mohawk thing going on.
Yeah, that was
like,
cool. Yeah.
mm,
No, but that. I like that because that was the Storm. That was like the '90s
Yeah,
comic Storm,
that's
but
true.
still, I liked it though.
Well, when I first saw it, I was a
Sure.
little concerned. I was like, I don't know about this. And then when they brought her in the movie, I'm like, okay, I can get behind this.
And that's another reason that they need to hurry up and get the X-Men into the MCU because in the comics, T'Challa and Storm get married. And we can't never have that
I'd
while
be
this
down
is
for that.
separated. I mean, look, Wakanda and X-Men together, like, yes, give me that all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Do you think when they have sex, like, when she queefs, like, hurricanes start and shit?
It's a tsunami!
I'm gonna say, is that what just happened in Alabama?
Oh, too soon.
Now, despite the fact that this is the same cast, same canon as from X-Men First Strike that came out like in 2004, or like real
Yeah.
X-Men
a
First
while ago
Class.
now.
Yeah, First Class. But I don't know when that one came out, but yeah, it's been a few years now.
Like,
It's been over a decade.
Mhm.
I know that.
Okay.
I would say, I think I
and-
was in high school when they come out.
Yeah.
And
I now cannot. I understand James McAvoy took over the role of Charles Xavier,
Right.
but I cannot look at him now and not think of Kevin Crumb.
Yeah. From Glass.
from
yeah.
Glass.
Especially,
Yeah,
with the hair gone and all that, yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe the
I
Beast
look
will
at him
come
and
out.
I instantly think Glass. Yeah, it wouldn't.
That would,
It's just weird because he's playing two roles which are both presumably real big, so it's kind of hard to separate the characters from each other.
yeah.
And as a viewer who hasn't really followed all this and isn't super like, oh, I want to look into it and really invested in him as a character, it really took me out of the moment to see him. I'm like, oh, you're Xavier. You were just like the multiple personalities. I cannot separate the two. And I think that's really problematic for people like me who might be, casually interested in the film.
That's a good point. Man, people are going to think like, oh, one of his other personalities is Professor X from the X-Men.
Right.
No, when he got shot at the end of Glass, spoiler alert, he just went paralyzed instead of dying. Fuck that movie. Anyway.
He started from the bottom, now he's in the chair.
Wow.
Damn.
I'm done.
Damn.
That's
done.
an Aubrey Graham reach.
Oh, damn. But yeah, Benwah, when did you say this one comes out?
June 7th.
June 7th, as far as I'm aware of.
Okay.
Now. Yeah.
So we'll see if come April they don't push it back again. Because what was it, the third or fourth time they've pushed this movie back? So
Yeah, because it was set for...
It was supposed to come out like last year.
It was set November of 18, and then it was set December of 18 after Aquaman.
Yep.
But before the new year.
Yep.
And then it was set again for like March.
Yeah, March or April, something like that.
I think it said March 13th or something. So it was real close to Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And then now it's June 7th. So
They ain't finna release this. They just finna keep fucking with y'all and just keep pushing it back and shit, and they'll release a new trailer in like 6 months and be like, oh, no,
we're still working on it.
right now, December of 2019.
Yeah,
it's coming
yeah.
right after Star Wars. Like, no.
No.
But yeah, fuck this movie. Sorry. All right, moving on.
Why do you guys have to hope they fail? Why can't they have one last hurrah? I mean, damn, can they live?
God damn you, Ryan Reynolds. God damn you. Every time I try to get out, you pull me back in. I don't.
You don't really want to see this?
No, it's not that because I'm a casual fan of Pokemon, like super
Same.
casual.
Same.
But I'm like, I'm not one of those people who like watches all the animes and the movies
Right.
and all that shit. I definitely don't play the game anymore. But
God, I don't think I played the game in like 15 years.
No, and not even when Pokemon Go came out and everybody was losing their mind about that shit.
I did that a little bit, and then I got bored with it real quick.
That shit was corny as hell.
Well, I had an 18-year-old living with me, and she
Sure.
was into it, and I got into it to keep her out of trouble.
Sure. But god damn it, man, like, there's just something about that man where he would just make me want to watch any fucking thing. Like, I don't know what it is. Like,
I feel you, because I'm right there. I'm like, I really don't want to see this, but at the same time, it's Ryan Reynolds.
and
He's
fucking,
Pikachu. And
it's hilarious. Like, I don't know whoever thought to have Ryan Reynolds be the voice of Pikachu, they need a fucking raise, because that shit was just genius, because it is so not in his wheelhouse, and you would never think, like, okay, we want to have Pikachu talk with a human voice. What actor could we get to do that? Ryan Reynolds. Yes, like, sign him a check, give him all the monies, and get his ass in the studio. Like, the story, it's dumb. I mean, he's a detective, and he's looking for his former master, who was that kid's dad, and he's supposedly dead or some shit, or faked his death. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
You got all that out of the trailer?
Yeah. Well, he has that whole bit where he's like, all right, new plan. He's like, okay, he faked his death, or wait, he faked somebody else's death, and he goes on this whole
Yeah,
bit.
I heard that, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's too cute to not make me want to see it. I just can't help it, especially when he goes into the ring to fight what's the dragon one?
Charizard.
Yeah, Charizard. Yeah, and
it looks like he wants to take a shit and can't do it.
Right, and he can't. He's like, can't do it when people are watching me.
People are watching.
That shit is hilarious. And then when Charizard comes out and he's blowing on his fire and shit, he's like, "Get me the hell out of here!" I was like, that is hilarious. Like that right there, to see Pikachu freaking out and then hearing a grown ass man's voice come out of that,
Right.
like it's perfect. I don't know what else to say about it. Like it's great.
Pika Pika.
Though I honestly, like I said, I'm a super casual fan of Pokemon.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know about you guys. Like, Benwah, did you play Pokemon a lot when it was?
Oh, hell no. I got talked into running the Nuzlocke of Yellow, and I tried to play Pokemon Crystal and I just quit.
Yeah.
See,
I don't care.
I had a cousin that was into it, and I wouldn't like play the game or anything, but I wanted to collect all the little cute. I didn't want all the Pokemon. I just wanted the cute ones from, Burger King had the Burger King toys, and they come in the Pokeballs. Like, I wanted a Togepi.
I'm pretty sure to this day I still have a Charizard in the Pokeball with the little gold, quote unquote, gold-plated
Gold
card.
coin,
Yeah.
I wanted a Togepi. I wanted a Pikachu, a Squirtle, and a Bulbasaur. That was it. Those are the only ones that I liked. And Jiglet.
So what, the 3 starters and Pikachu?
Togepi is not a starter.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you. Okay, I heard a couple of them. I thought you were okay.
See, y'all know way more
Squirtle,
about the lore than I do.
Bulbasaur, and
Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and
Pikachu. Those are all starters.
Well, Pikachu is a starter only in Yellow. It's Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander.
Yeah.
Charmander, yeah. So is Charmander, he evolves
Charmander's
into
the
Charizard?
little one, and then it's Charmander, Charmeleon, and then Charizard.
See, again, y'all know way more about these motherfuckers than I do. That being said, though, I don't know enough about the Pokemon, like, lore and all the Pokemon to really recognize all the characters that they ran through in the trailer. But that Mewtwo
I would say,
was
Mewtwo.
dope as fuck. That shit was dope as hell. When he came out the fire and he was floating and shit, I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, I don't even care about Pokemon, but I saw Mewtwo and I recognized him and I was like, yep, so take my money. Warner Brothers, you did it.
The little green ones with the flower on their back, that's Bulbasaur.
Okay, yeah, he squirts water or some shit,
No,
right?
that's Squirtle.
Oh, I don't see. Again, I don't.
Squirtle is like a water turtle.
My 10-year-old self will be ashamed of me for not remembering or knowing these characters enough. Like I said, I was more of a Digimon kid. I could give a fuck about
Yeah,
Pokemon.
see, I didn't like Digimon.
Digimon, digital monsters.
I like the theme song.
Yeah, Digimon was dope.
But to me, they look the same. Like,
Yeah, but they were in like the Matrix though in Digimon. That's what made it cool. Like, that made it better.
yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, like, and he also put out some little, because Ryan Reynolds is a good marketing person too, because half of the success of Deadpool was how they marketed it. Like all the trailers for Deadpool, all the ads, the commercials, like the little YouTube skits that he would do for the Deadpool movies before they came out. All that shit was really funny. Mm-hmm. And he did one for Detective Pikachu where he talked about how he immersed himself in the role of Pikachu. He was like, when I got the call that I had got the role to play Pikachu, I was on my way to pick up my daughters from school, and he goes, or daycare or some shit. And he's like, he was like, and then I never picked him up because Pikachu doesn't have kids. It's like, damn. and his wife, Blake Lively, she's in it, and she's like, yeah, he was like, yeah, he totally left him. And he's like, I stopped returning calls from my wife or whatever. And he was like, I tried to live on at Pikachu's level, so he's like crawling on the ground and shit.
Oh my God.
And he talks about how he tried to lose like 180 pounds until doctors intervened or some shit like that. It was pretty funny. And I was like, it's that is why I was like, getting him to be Pikachu is genius. Like, it
makes me wonder if the other Pokemon are going to be able to talk, or if it's just going to be Pikachu.
I think it should just be him, except Mewtwo. Because Mewtwo I know he has the telepathy thing, right? Can he talk to you through his mind?
Sure. He's not the only one that knows telepathy.
So there's other Pokemon that can do that too?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I guess it kind of depends. Like, are they going to use every current gen Pokemon? I don't know how they're going to bring everything into the world for this movie. Like, how closely tied it will be with the actual game, Detective Pikachu. But...
Right. Yeah, because it's loosely based on the game.
Presumably, I guess you're probably right. Mew might be the only one with any telepathic powers who can communicate with both humans and other Pokemon. You
know what they should do? I got it. Mewtwo. When he does his telepathy thing and talks to you, he will be voiced by Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh my God.
Yes. Oh my God, yes. That would be the dopest shit ever. Like, you got Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, you got Sam Jackson as fucking Mewtwo. But see,
he's too hard. He's too hard. Can't be him.
But see, no. Because I think this is PG-13, so they can say shit a few times. I think they can use one fuck in a PG-13 movie as well, as far as the ratings go. So, can you say motherfucker in a PG-13 movie?
No, I think it has to just be fuck.
Damn. Because I want to hear him say motherfucker. Just like that part where that fucking big, what are those things called? The Macy's Day Parades, where it's a big balloon.
Thanksgiving? Yeah.
No. What are the things called?
The balloons?
No.
Floats?
Yeah, float. Yeah, float. I was like, well, it's not just a balloon. It's more than just that. But the Joker would be offended if you called his shit balloons. The
Joker calls his own shit balloons.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. He was like, he stole my balloons. We need to do a commentary of 89 Batman. One day it's going to happen. See, the legend continues. We will always find a way to bring it back to 89 Batman. But anyway.
That's what I need. I need a drink and I need to watch Batman.
Yeah. There you go.
That's going to solve all my stress.
Yeah.
It always does. Although I have to make sure that I'm alone when I watch 89 Batman, because never mind.
All right.
If I watch,
you're not gonna need beads.
Right. There you go. Yeah.
If I watch 89 Batman with people, then maybe
a different kind of beads.
May or may not. Well, those are fun too. And may or may not get excited. Okay.
Wow.
It happens.
Michael Keaton flips out. You want to get nuts? She's like, hell yeah! Drop them panties.
Oh, I thought it was about Danny DeVito.
No.
In 89 Batman.
Nope. That's
he's in
91
Returns.
Batman. Yep.
That's Returns. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it was.
because Michelle Pfeiffer is Lord in that cat suit.
The 89 Michael Keaton one was
Joker.
Jack
Nicholson.
What's his face? Jack Nicholson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's like, he's been using Brand X. Okay, anyway, we're not even talking about Pikachu anymore.
Always. We always come back to 89 Batman.
We are excited for the most part, I think. Yay, nay for Detective Pikachu? Oh, I'm excited have for fun with it.
Ryan Reynolds to voice Pikachu.
All right, there you go. I want to see it. Like I said,
I would say every time I see a trailer, I'm still like, I don't want to see this shit, but I want to see it.
I know. That's how they get you. They knew. They was like, how can we sell this shit? And it was like, get Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
Get that man on the phone.
Yep.
I'm telling you, and then get Sam Jackson as Mewtwo. He gonna come out that fire like, motherfucker!
No. Get Christopher Walken.
Oh, that would be a good one too. Yeah.
You see, the thing is, I can't do a voice.
Yeah,
the thing is,
more cowbell. That's all I can.
Yeah.
That's all I got from the SNL skit.
Oh my god.
Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
The whole concept of Pokemon is so distasteful. Do they not have animal rights laws in this universe? People go to prison for that sort of thing here.
Welcome to Benwah's Wabbit Hole. It's where I, Benwah, give you a brief synopsis of random things I found interesting on the internet. Some of these things may be further elaborated on in future podcasts, but I'd recommend you dig deeper for yourself if you're interested.
The views and opinions expressed in the Wabbit Hole are those of Benwah's and Benwah's alone, and do not necessarily reflect the position of any member, affiliate, or future sponsor, despite us not having any, of the One Giant Leap for Geeks podcast.
Ever pretend household objects were swords to duel with friends and family? Well, two people decided to have it out at a buffet and they weren't even relatives. In Huntsville, Alabama, Chiquita Jenkins was charged with assaulting John Chapman, who in turn was charged with disorderly conduct after tensions rose from lack of crab legs. They waited for over 10 minutes and damn it, that was just too long. The next generation of Pokemon will be debuting later this year in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and people are already oohing and awing over the three starters. Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sabo will represent grass, fire, and water respectively, and oh my goodness are they adorable. I just can't wait to viciously attack and capture one out in the world and force it to fight other wild animals in a Michael Vick-esque dogfighting ring to prove I'm the superior species. Now this could happen in Galar, Kalos, or both, as rumors have been spread that this new Pokemon title may take place in more than one region. The Galar region clearly appears to be based on Great Britain, and it doesn't matter what else I say because if you like Pokemon, you're going to get this game anyway. It's probably going to sell really well. Speaking of games, Super Mario Maker is the reason why I spent a combination of my own money and donations on Twitch towards buying a Wii U back in 2016. I should have probably held out for the Switch. Anyway, come June, the sequel to Super Mario Maker, aptly titled Super Mario Maker 2, will be released on the Switch, and son of a bitch, I want it! Of course, new assets have been added, but there's also a visual style comparable to Super Mario 3D World, and we can finally make slopes! There's so much more to it, but I don't want to get too excited over something I don't have the money to get right now. Besides, I already have the original Super Mario Maker, Mega Man Maker, and RPG Maker MV, and I really haven't found the time nor motivation to create anything with those, so I'm sure this new Mario Maker wouldn't be any different. Back on Saturday, February 23rd, we said goodbye to actress Katherine Helmond, age 80, due to complications with Alzheimer's disease. Many in my generation may know her from starring as Mona Robinson, the feisty, liberated, and still sexually charged mother of Angela Bauer on Who's the Boss. She had numerous other roles to credit, most recently Lois Whalen, Deborah Barone's mother on Everybody Loves Raymond, and Doris Sherman, owner of the NFL expansion team Orlando Breakers on the final 2 seasons of Coach. Her breakout television role of Jessica Tate from the now highly acclaimed series Soap is a personal favorite of mine, and I intend to binge the entire series in the near future. Star of the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer film and the 90s television juggernaut Beverly Hills 90210, Luke Perry passed away at the age of 52 on March 4th, about a week after suffering a stroke. Born in Mansfield, Ohio, his earliest roles were on soap operas before being given his breakout as a teen heartthrob Dylan McKay. Luke was so big, at one point even a riot broke out in a mall over him. Now in the mid-90s, he attempted to pursue more mature roles, but in the end ultimately found himself rejoining the cast of Beverly Hills 90210, where he remained until its finale in 2000. His final role was as Fred Andrews, Archie's father on the CW series Riverdale. He is survived by 2 children, Sophie, age 18, and Jack, age 21, who is a professional wrestler signed to All Elite Wrestling. Englishman Keith Flint, best known in the States as the dancer and vocalist of electronic musical group The Prodigy, passed away on March 4th via suicide at age 49. His contributions to The Prodigy's third album, The Fat of the Land, included vocals for the tracks Firestarter, Fuel My Fire, Breathe, and Baby's Got a Temper. The album was critically acclaimed and sold over 10 million copies worldwide as of 2019, which technically makes it a diamond album in the US. He's had numerous musical side projects, though none as successful as The Prodigy. Now, Flynn enjoyed motorcycles and actually had his own motorcycle team, which competed in the British Supersport Championship and won a couple of races. Details as to exactly why he chose to end his life are unclear, so may he rest in peace. Last but not least, former professional wrestler King Kong Bundy passed away as well on March 4th at age 61. Born in New Jersey, Bundy, real name Christopher Pallies, was trained at the Monster Factory by Larry Sharpe and made his debut in 1981 under the name Chris Cannon. He acquired the name King Kong Bundy after turning heel in Fritz Von Erich's World Class Championship Wrestling a year later and wrestled Fritz in his retirement match at the Texas Stadium. Working for Mid-South, Bundy developed a gimmick of demanding a 5 count instead of the traditional 3 count for pinfall as a means to show dominance. He is most well known for his appearances at the first 3 WrestleManias in which he, in kayfabe, squashed Special Delivery Jones in 9 seconds, wrestled Hulk Hogan in a steel cage match for the World Heavyweight Championship, and teamed with midgets in a 6-man tag match where he got his team disqualified after slamming and dropping an elbow on one of the midgets. Bundy made multiple cameos on television playing himself, including being a canon relative of Peggy Bundy on Married with Children as Uncle Irwin.
And now back to your regularly scheduled podcast. Poor Luke Perry, you were my idol when I was a mere calculator in my master's backpack. You will be missed. R.I.P.
It's that time again for America's #1 show, Dumb Shit of the Week. That's right, Dumb Shit of the Week is the show where DJ Melly Mel finds dumb shit and we talk about it. Want your submission on the show? Find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks, or you can email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. Now here's your host, DJ Melly Mel.
Thank you. As I do with every dumb shit of the week, dumb shit just kind of comes to me. I don't know if I have a magnet for it or I seek it unintentionally.
Mm-hmm.
I think more of the first.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of comes to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, people...
I normally get rid of my shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's probably not a thing you want.
Well...
Like, if you had to have a superpower, that probably wouldn't be it.
It seems to work, so we're going to go with it.
All right.
So, as of today, March 4th, at 11:37 a.m.
Today's March 5th. But I was going to let you go.
As of yesterday,
yes.
March
Mm-hmm.
4th.
Mm-hmm.
There, see?
Okay.
Can't keep track of my days.
Mm-hmm. Well, when they hear this, it'll be the 6th or
Yeah,
later.
well,
but whatever, that's not
Whatever.
important.
As of the 4th of March,
Sure.
the sculpture that has inspired the Momo Challenge is no longer a thing. For those of you who don't know, because
Yes.
Mike's kind of looking at me a little crazy.
Yeah, I've heard the name, but don't know what it is. I was afraid to find out.
The Momo Challenge is supposedly been popping up in kids' videos. So kids' YouTube, cartoons that are produced and put on YouTube Kids. It's this creepy, like, it looks like Beetlejuice-looking statue.
Oh God, no.
So that is
Yeah.
supposedly...
It's some Japanese art creation.
Oh,
Supposedly the face has been popping up in kids' videos on YouTube, even though YouTube has made all the videos disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And Momo says, okay, kids, well, it's a good day to go kill yourself. So you need to kill yourself and don't tell anybody that Momo told you to do this. Otherwise, Momo's going to come kill your family. So it was promoting suicide amongst young kids.
Oh my God.
This statue is actually where the thing first started. It's made by a Japanese artist. And the Japanese artist has said the statue has been disintegrated so naturally, he disposed of it. The Momo Challenge, alleged social media-based challenge featuring a bird-like wrath encouraging children to harm themselves, has sparked internet-based moral panic, obviously, because we don't need children to go out and kill themselves.
God damn.
Sheriff's departments have issued Facebook post warnings warning parents and schools about it. I know several friends where they got a notice home from their kids saying, hey, we use YouTube Kids as part of our learning, so make sure you have this talk with your children about how it's not okay to hurt yourselves and how, everything should be shared with an adult. They're, kind of setting stuff up like that. Even Kim Kardashian got in on it, and she posted on Instagram.
Oh, and now it's really serious.
Well, according to Rolling Stone, the Momo Challenge wasn't real. So, as soon as people started getting aware of this, nobody could find the videos, and then you have people that saying that they saw them or they didn't see them. Whatever the case may be, this artist has decided that the sculpture was causing too much of a panic, so he destroyed it. Now,
I want to say real quick, though, is that solving the problem, though?
No, but he figured having the statue was...
what it represents at this point.
Sure, it has become... Tainted, essentially. It looks like something from Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
It's a crazy looking woman.
It almost looks like the girl from The Ring.
Yeah.
Almost.
So it's got the hair and kind of the face of the chick from The Ring, but her mouth is all pulled and stretched like in Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And then it's got a pair of tits on chicken legs. With some weird claws.
I just want to know, though, what was he achieving with this? Because that is some nightmare fuel.
It's
for
scary
real.
looking.
Yeah.
And as somebody who, doesn't have children, but if I saw this on a YouTube video, no matter what it was saying, it would cause me some nightmares.
Honestly, and I'm not trying to make light of suicide or kids killing themselves or anything like that, but I would just want to kill myself from seeing that. You wouldn't even have to tell me to go kill myself. I would never want to close my eyes again after seeing that shit when I was a kid.
Right.
Oh my God.
So
it was simply a Japanese sculpture. It was an artist who intentionally made it for horror.
Yeah, he's a horror sculptor.
It wasn't meant for the purpose.
Oh no, but it worked because that shit is horrifying.
Yeah.
you did good. The next weird creature feature you want to make, go get that dude because he got some fucked up shit in his mind.
So, first off, it's stupid that this thing has become a thing, whether it was real or not.
So it was a hoax?
That's what everybody's saying.
Oh, it's all a hoax. It's all a hoax.
Okay. So
they were saying that this creature was popping up. Momo is what it was called. There is no evidence to support that. Okay. There are no YouTube videos with that. And, the conspiracy theorists are like, oh, well, YouTube took it all down and they've erased it.
Look, 4chan is on some bullshit. I'll blame them for this shit because I got a feeling this started on some message boards somewhere. And it was like, oh, it'd be really funny if we started this rumor that this, that, and the other.
It did. Without confirming it, it did. It actually popped up on Reddit well before this, and so I'm sure somebody on 4chan or somebody on Reddit got a hold of it and came up with a fake story, or maybe did make some kind of a video just so that they could share it and say this is going on.
Yeah. Like I said,
because this all actually began over in Argentina. It was all trolls from the beginning that began over in Europe and then just slowly made its way over to the U.S. because, people and stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can neither confirm nor deny the existence of Momo. However, the fact that this man's artwork is no longer a thing because people have made it into this moral dilemma, it's kind of stupid. I mean, that's pretty dumb.
No. You're right. And I kind of feel bad for him because it's
I
like
do,
he's just trying to
'cause
express himself artistically.
Yeah, and there's no telling how long it took him to make that.
Right, and people have co-opted it in this weird
Hard
fucking...
to tell what kind of materials it was made out of.
Yeah, creepypasta type bullshit story. That's people are fucked up. It's like, why? Like, that's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like, now, would it have been funny to just have this thing pop up in kids' videos and scare the shit out of them?
No.
Hilarious! I would have laughed my ass off at that shit. But you don't tell the kids to
Yeah.
kill themselves. Like, come on, man. That's too much. And again, we cannot confirm nor deny, but it's probably fake that this actually happened. But still, if that would have just popped up, because you remember for a while where they had that thing where they'd make them play like a maze game, and then like the maze would get narrower and narrower, and it'd be like, don't touch the sides, and then like that fucking ghost shit would pop up and scream at you and scare the shit out. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I watched videos of that for hours.
They still have videos like that where a picture of Linda Blair in the
Yes.
just pops up and
Yeah, like that's hilarious, but that's too much. That's too far. That's taking it beyond funny to just like, you are fucked up. Like,
Yeah, you don't do that to people's kids.
don't.
no.
It's one thing to troll. It's another to bring suicide of children into the trolling. That's beyond tasteless.
Yeah, that's not trolling no more. Now you're just being a horrible fucking person.
Pretty
Like,
much.
legit.
And let's be honest with just how much traction the flat Earth movement and the anti-vax movement can get via social media. It really didn't take that long.
No.
There probably was somebody who trolling and some mother or somebody who thought it was real. Because I believe it first really picked up traction in the U.S., I believe, when somebody posted it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's been
story on
shared
Twitter.
all over the world.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so people are just, like I said, I've got friends that have gotten notices from their kids' schools saying, watch out for this Momo and make sure you sit your kids down and you tell them, what is appropriate and what is not. And, if somebody tells you not to tell your parents, obviously that's a big red flag. There's this big whole internet safety thing about it.
This is going to be kids' version. Kids growing up today, this is going to be their version of, like, our urban legends when we were kids and shit. Like, oh, I heard that a lady put a razor blade in an apple during Halloween and somebody died. Like, I'm almost certain that that's never actually happened before.
Yeah.
But it was a thing when I was a kid, at least.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they still do it. Not with the razor blade thing, but every year they still come out with the stories that people are putting
like
drugs in Halloween.
Drugs in the kids' candy.
Right, they're injecting heroin in the Snicker bars or some crazy shit. And it's like, who the fuck is doing that shit? Because if it did happen, it would only be a matter of time before they trace it back to who did that shit, and they would lock your ass up. Like, no one is getting away with that shit. Like, believe me. But anyway.
Well, I feel bad because of the mob mentality of all this. If one person even got blamed for it who was innocent, they're dead.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is how you literally create mobs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially how quickly shit spreads because of social media now and how no one researches anything. You just see a headline or somebody shares a post and it's like, oh, must be true.
And even if you try to research it, you come across, like, the websites that are, like, backed by the social media.
Right, exactly, right. Because they're getting their information from Twitter and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard to say what's a reliable website to look up things as opposed to what's not.
Yeah.
Back in the day we had the dictionary, we had the encyclopedia, we had, scientific journals. That stuff was legit. Now we have Facebook and internet and Instagram and
well, Kim Kardashian said it's a threat. Then hide your kids.
It's so hard. It has become a lot more difficult with how the access, or with all the access we have to information nowadays over the internet. It really has become more difficult to filter it. And the one thing that came out of this that I think was somewhat positive is that it really did put a lot more emphasis on parents who just give their kids tablets or smartphones and leave them alone to watch whatever they want. Even if it supposedly is kids' material, you as a parent are still responsible and still accountable and need to keep an eye on what your children are doing. Check in on them periodically, because I'm more than sure there are some kids out there who've probably said, yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. You just want to be
just like how everything travels in social media, you want to be in the now of the story.
Right. Just like them fucking crazy people that are like, yeah, aliens abducted me and did anal probes. Like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, ain't nothing happening, yo, goofy
and there's
ass.
there's already a pretty big deal going on with YouTube alone, just for the fact that there are videos out there which may not be necessarily showing kids in a provocative way, but there's a lot of people out there who are watching them and making comments on them, which is causing YouTube to take a lot of slack for one, not being able to filter through all the video they keep having uploaded on there, and two, having to deal with the parents who are saying, "Oh, you ain't doing enough. You got to do more."
There's no way. And there's nothing. You'd have to just shut down YouTube.
Pretty much.
There is literally hours upon hours of content uploaded every minute to YouTube. There's no way to filter through it.
Nope,
literally
you have
none.
to do that
there
as
will
a
never
parent.
be an algorithm sophisticated enough to do it, and there's not going to be enough manpower out there
Hell
to do
no.
it. And the last thing YouTube wants to do is, limit people who can upload things to the platform, or what Article 13 was doing, have to actually watch everything and censor everything. Nobody really wants that to happen.
No, it can't be done. YouTube would just literally have to be shut down. It literally cannot be done.
It would implode.
Like, it can't. They go bankrupt trying.
Yeah.
Well, that's a horrible dumb shit of the week story.
The focus was that the guy's artwork had to be destroyed.
right.
Not on the Momo
Right,
thing.
R.I.P. Momo.
It was just a guy who made He just made some art piece that was meant to be scary, and it wound up getting blown out of proportion, and he's like, this is not right. I gotta just get rid of it. And squash
kudos
it.
to him, though.
So, good for you.
Kudos to him. He's like, this bird woman is not worth all this trouble, so.
Yeah.
Granted, it's the internet, and the image will probably still last
forever.
Yeah,
that shit ain't going. That will be in memes from here to eternity.
Yeah. At least the actual statue is gone. And
ooh, maybe it'll be in the 2019 YouTube Rewind. Momo pop up and be like, kids, curious.
Remember me?
Oh, all right. Gotcha, bitch. Like,
right.
Oh.
So, yeah, that was the dumb shit for the week. You can find me on Twitter @FroggyBeaver if you have any questions or
about her process.
Questions about my process or suggestions of where I can find the next week's dumb shit. Anything like that, you can always email the show at officialoglfg. I'm still trying to figure out Twitter, but I will get back to you as soon as I can.
So she says this literally every week. One of these years, she's gonna have it down.
I get it.
Yeah, you don't at her. You gonna have to straight up DM her because she ain't gonna get that shit.
We'll figure it out.
All right, moving on.
Jesus fucking Christ, that thing is hideous. Kill it with fire.
Every time something pops up, I always have this joke of we need to switch careers. Like last week when we talked about the Dirt trailer and Rocket Man, I was like, we need to stop this whole podcasting thing and just go be rock stars.
Yep.
I think before I made a joke about, switching careers to some other thing. Well, I need to go work for Nintendo. But specifically Nintendo of Japan, because we have been sleeping on this shit and these motherfuckers is over there making like buku bucks. Like,
I've never been to Japan.
I've always wanted to go.
I went to Sydney once, and they said that Sydney was basically mini Japan. I was like, oh, okay.
Minus the Japanese people, but
no, with the Japanese people.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of Japanese people in Sydney, Australia.
Shit. All right.
That's why they called it the Little Japan.
Oh yeah, like Little China. All right, I got it. So I'm getting this from GameSpot.com. Nintendo has shared some intriguing new information about its workforce in Japan. As spotted by analyst Daniel Ahmad, the Nintendo of Japan recruitment page contains some statistics about the people who work for Nintendo of Japan, including their average age, salary, length of employment, and more. I'm going to say Japan... What the fuck? Hang on. A video just started playing on the fucking page. That's annoying.
They know you're talking about them.
Right, okay. I'm going to say Japan a lot during this, so sorry. Nintendo of Japan employs more than 2,000 people, and their average age is 38.6. On average, a Nintendo of Japan, I told you, an employee makes $80,000 per year.
Damn.
Yeah, and has worked for Nintendo of Japan for 13 and a half years. Also notable is 7 hours 45 minutes, which is the average length of a workday for a Nintendo of Japan employee. These motherfuckers work 8-hour shifts and make $80,000 a year. I'm like, holy shit. I work like damn near 10-hour shifts and don't even make nowhere near $80,000 fucking dollars a year.
Not even close.
Now it says, as mentioned, this information only pertains to Nintendo of Japan. The Mario Maker has subsidiaries in other places around the world, including Nintendo of America and Nintendo of Europe, among other locations.
Bet the Nintendo of America works like 12 hours and they clear like 60,000.
Dude, look, if they lucky,
If
shit,
they
probably
lucky.
like 30.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo of America and Nintendo of Europe, among other locations. Recruitment statistics do not appear to be available for those places, so they ain't even to tell you what they pay these motherfuckers. I don't know if it's from, you know, like what the economy is like in Japan, or like how successful Nintendo is as a company.
They
but
work less than 8 hours a day. Less than 8 hours
on
a day.
average. Some maybe more, some maybe less, but the
Okay,
average is
still,
less than 8 hours.
Less than 8 hours a day. And you're clearing 80 grand.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Average.
At-
Average. So there's some that make more. I know. But to be fair, they only have a staff of 2,000 people. So it's not like, you know, they're like a Walmart and there's like tens of thousands of workers for Nintendo of Japan or whatever. I mean,
How do we get on for Nintendo of Japan? Just
like
asking
who,
for a friend.
right? Whose Japanese dick do I gotta suck
Right.
to get to working for Nintendo of Japan?
Hey,
Because
I-
goddamn,
I got skills.
It doesn't typically work like that over there.
I got skills.
unless-
I'm just saying.
right? I will work
I'm not
the
a-
shaft. What you need? Go ahead.
I can't say this with any specificity, and that's not even a word. I just made it up for the time being. But
Specificity's a
with
word.
exception
Yeah, I
to
don't think
being
so. I
said,
feel like it is.
No, it is.
it sounds like
Okay,
it's a
go
word.
ahead.
Specificity. Game testers are probably on average in any, be it Nintendo of Japan or any other game company, the lowest paid employees there. But the vast majority of everybody who works for Nintendo is university educated. So they're coming in there knowing a lot of shit before they even get hired to begin with, which is why the bar can be relatively high. For
Still,
them.
though, I promise you, the game devs that work for EA and shit like that, I promise you, they not making 80 fucking grand a
Hell
year.
no.
Like these motherfuckers is so expendable. Half of them are fucking freelance, and that's what I thought was cool about this story is that they said the average employees worked there for almost 14 years.
That's a long time.
I'm like, that's crazy. And the average age is 39. I'm like, so they've been there for the better part of their 20s. Well,
Oh, yeah.
probably they're all their
But,
20s at 14
probably.
years, but still.
Well, not only is the work structure, but the work ethic is different for them over
That's
in Japan.
true. That is true.
And let's just say companies in Japan are much more loyal to their employees than they are here in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody is not considered an expendable resource over there.
that's true.
Which is surprising
Now,
because they have such
with
a
this
large
article-
population.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
a large population for such a small country.
Right,
Because they're an
right.
island nation.
Right. But still, I
Yeah.
mean, they have a large population for a itty bitty little area.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, depending on what part of Japan they're living in, cost of living is actually quite expensive
Oh, I-
in the major
like
metropolitan
I
Tokyo
believe
and
that.
shit,
I
yeah.
believe that.
Oh, hell yeah.
100%.
Kyoto and Tokyo, yeah. And the one thing the article did not specify is, like, it says the average is 80,000. That's US, that's not yen, right?
I would think, yeah, that's converted to U.S.
Because
Yeah,
80,000 yen would be insane.
yeah no, I think that's converted
80,000
to
US.
U.S. Yeah.
But that's the average. So is that going to be like the median for real? Or is that going to be like in the US where if a CEO makes like 10 million and you have like 1,000 under him that make like 10 grand, it's going to average out to like 80 or something.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the
What-
number would be still higher than that, though. Like, if he's making, like, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a
Yeah,
bad,
but yeah, I
that was a
get
bad
what you're
example,
saying,
but
though.
just making the point.
Is it gonna be a
Because
true
it almost makes you want to look
Right.
into how much does the president or the CEO or COO make in comparison to the employees? Because here over the States is like fucking $800 or something typically, right? For like the big It's probably not the same over there because they have a lot more. It's not just work ethic; it's culture.
Yes, their culture around everything is a lot different than ours, especially when it comes to work and responsibility and honor and living up to your what's the word I want to use, commitments and all that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have capitalism and all that shit too, but they not at least seem that they're dirty about it like we can be sometimes.
And they said the average workday is just under 8 hours at 7.4 or 7 and 3/4 of an hour, right? I'm willing to bet that average is off-putting to people because there's going to be kind of downtimes in the company where they're not really working at anything major or having to make deadlines. There will be times where those guys never leave the office.
Oh yeah, they're
sleep
the
there.
game industry in general. I think everywhere, like they have their grinding sessions and all that. I think we even talked about that once before. About
time or two.
Yeah, you know how these people are sometimes like pretty much locked in that bitch until the game is done, especially the closer it is to release date.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, though, you got to kind of think about the kind of games Nintendo puts out, though, too. Like they're not making these big, massive AAA multiplayer.
It's not Assassin's Creed.
Right, Assassin's
Creed.
Ass and Jeans Creed. Hell yeah.
I'd play that game.
Creed.
Right. But yeah, no, like so and not to try to knock Nintendo, but it's like, their games are a little bit more simplistic and a little bit, more
Kid friendly.
Yeah, for lack of a better
Family
word.
friendly.
Yeah, there you go. So it's not like, they're not making a Halo or Call of Duty or some shit like that.
Right.
So I mean, it might not even be as difficult because the thing that makes I think Nintendo appealing is that they're innovative in how you play the game more so than the game itself.
The content.
Right. I mean, the content is pretty by the numbers, but they're always trying to find new ways for you to interact with the game, whether it be the Wii or the DS, they're or the Switch. Yeah. They're always trying to find different ways of how you interact with the game and not necessarily trying to innovate the gameplay per se.
Right.
So, yeah, like they have a different focus, but still, I mean, I just wanted to just shout out to the employees of Nintendo Japan. Like, if this is an accurate portrayal of a workday for you guys and, how long you've been with the company and what you get paid.
I'm totally jealous.
I salute the shit out of y'all.
Right?
God damn, man. Like, shit. Shit. I would work a 13-hour day for $80,000 a year, but
Hell yeah.
To average 8 or less for that, hell yeah. But like you
Sign me
said,
up.
these motherfuckers is college educated. They ain't going in there off the street and shit like that. And like you said, testers are at the lowest, rung of the totem pole, which makes sense because it's like, well, they have the least work-intensive, labor-intensive job because it's like, well, we made the shit. All you got to do is just play it and make sure it ain't
Right.
fucking up. You know what I'm saying? Just tell us when there are bugs and shit like that. So I get it, but...
And Nintendo is a well-respected company, if for nothing more, for more than what they bring in, but if for nothing more, the fact that it's been around since the late 1800s, still in cards. This is a company that has a history. It is a staple in Japanese history.
That's what's it.
And it's kind of sad because I would almost like to ask current employees how they feel about the job, but I know damn well they're not going to say anything that would be anti-corporate because they're company men.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh,
That's what
Mario
they're
would have the motherfuckers killed.
And I don't know if you made mention to this in the article that you read, but from what I've picked up from Hypebeast, it claims that they get 125 vacation days per year. However, no. That includes weekends.
Oh.
So, they maybe get 3 weeks.
Still, though, shit, 3 weeks paid vacation, and you get weekends off
Yeah,
guaranteed?
oh, no, that's a good thing. That's a good
I'm
thing.
down.
Nah, it didn't say guaranteed. It's just setting their weekends are included in the vacation package. So I'm still sure people come in.
Sure,
but then again, maybe not. Maybe they're like a lot of European companies where you
hell
just
yeah,
don't.
they said shit. What the fuck you talking about? We finna go party. Shit. They said fuck all this shit. Look, we Monday through Friday, bitch. We is closed Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And in the less than 8 hours is not counting in hour-long breaks. So they're actually spending the better part of 9 hours a day.
Oh, sure.
But still, I don't get an hour-long break.
Right, hell yeah. I was gonna say, some motherfuckers don't get shit. I'm like, if you were at a gas station somewhere, bitch, you'd be like, you go to the fucking bathroom, let alone take a lunch break.
Dude, I'm lucky if I have enough time to pee before I have to run down the hall for some other client of ours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the best breaks that I had was when I worked at a grocery store in Texas called HEB. And all of my Texas people will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But HEB, you get 2 15 minutes and a 30-minute that was paid.
Damn.
Paid.
Damn. They say everything is bigger in Texas. Breaks, pay, all that shit. Well, yeah.
Man, I never got no paid lunches. Best I got was you can just leave a half hour early.
Right, shit. All right, like, okay, shit, bye.
I mean, this all sounds good, but whenever I read a kind of story like this or hear about something like this, I'm like, I understand you're giving me like just the base numbers. I want to dig a little bit deeper, and I know that the information may be out there, but I'm never going to get it from a real employee.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm happy for you if you enjoy this, but if it really is something that's relatively typical from big corporations in Japan, it's like,
yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, because like you said, no one's ever gonna come out and be like, "This is horse shit. I hate this fucking place," unless they're just some like disgruntled ass employee. But other than that, no.
Yeah.
An $80,000 a year salary, it sounds good to people like us who don't make anywhere near that. But once again, you got to factor in where they live. Like, imagine if you moved in like the heart of New York City and you made $80,000 a year. Like, how much is your apartment? Are you, do you actually own a house or do you own a
Oh, if you live in New York, you don't own shit.
You don't have a car,
every fucking thing.
You ain't got a house.
Like you taking the subway.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the things that there are apartments there that you can own, like in New York. I just can't think
like
of high
rises or
yeah.
condos.
Oh yeah, but you got to be
Condos,
making more than $80,000 a year if you want to own one of them motherfuckers.
Well, that's my point. Are these people living in Tokyo, Kyoto? Is the company giving them an apartment while they work for the company? Are they subsidizing it? Do these guys pay out of pocket for that? Like, how much can that $80,000 really get you?
Right, after cost of living and shit. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And if you break it down and there's like, say, 2,000 some employees and the average they make is $80,000 a year, you're still looking upwards of $100 million profits minimum you have to make to be able to accommodate that. And that's not factoring the bonuses. So if this is a billion or multi-billion-dollar company, which it very well may be, this is just a fucking drop in the bucket.
Oh, yeah. They're like, yeah, no. So Mario got that money. He said, I ain't worried about that shit. He said, you ain't played Luigi's Mansion, motherfucker? We got money. What the fuck? He said, all them gold coins I done picked up over these years.
To all these employees, he said, probably is maybe 5% of what they really make
Oh, yeah,
per year.
for sure.
But then again, that also goes in the fact is, does that money go into the company itself, or did like the president and CEO walk out with like 100 million yen?
Oh yeah, no, they making bank
or
like second to none for sure. But
although I'm willing to bet on like the U.S., it's much more lenient. It's nowhere near the 800 to 1 that we get here.
Probably not.
And their employees are not treated as, from what I can tell, just from what I've seen and watched about like how Japan works. Their employees, they may have it hard and rough on themselves because they have honor and they have integrity and work ethic and all that. But as far as I'm aware of, they're not treated typically as bad as Americans are. But maybe I'm totally wrong about that, and somebody can correct me on Twitter. Please do if I am.
These motherfuckers stab me in the fucking eyes with chopsticks if I ever said something bad.
Well, maybe I'm just a cynical American, but this sounds almost too good to be true. You know what I'm saying?
No, you
like it raises like a red flag. Like,
But anywho, moving on.
$80,000 is roughly 8,944,160 yen. The average cost of living in Tokyo is about 80,000 yen a month. That's 960,000 yen a year. That leaves them almost 8 million yen a year of disposable income. They are doing just fine.
This isn't real life. This is a fantasy. Half of it's made up. This is not from reality. Okay, so that was my really bad parody rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody, but it has some merit in what we're going to talk about. Now, if you can't guess because you're fucking stupid or some shit, we're going to do a review of the music biopic of Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. Now, normally we do these reviews mullet style. Now, if you don't know what a mullet style review is, it is non-spoilers in the front and spoilers at the back. But because this is a biopic and there's no real like plot to spoil, quote unquote, per se, it's like this is all public information for the most part, and you could learn this just from anywhere. We're just going to go ahead and just do a straight out spoiler review. So if you haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody, stop listening to this now, go watch the movie, come back and listen to it. Or if you don't care about spoilers and don't give a shit, stay, but we're going to be spoiling the movie. So there you go. You have been warned. As well, too, we have a rating system. It's 5 tiers. It goes really fucking liked it, meh, hated it, and really fucking hated it. And at the end, we'll give our overall reviews. But spoiler alert, for the most part, I enjoyed the movie. I liked all the acting in it. Even I thought it was pretty good, even from like the side supporting characters. Like the cast is Rami Malek. Mm-hmm. He plays Freddie Mercury, and he is the star of the movie, obviously. And I really like the girl who plays his wife, Mary Austin. Mm-hmm. She's Lucy Boynton, I think heard of is her. Maybe how you say her name. I don't know. And it was directed by this guy he's like a British actor, Dexter Fletcher. He's been in some like lower budget movies and shit. I've seen him in shit before. But yeah, he came on and directed this because there was some drama with our boy from the original X-Men movies, Bryan Singer. Mm-hmm. And he was going through some crazy shit, which we'll get to that a little bit later. But I did like most of the characters. I thought it was well acted by everybody. Even the guy, actually especially the guy who played Freddie's boyfriend, Paul Printer, the guy who was like getting them all strung out on coke and all this other crazy shit. That dude was such an asshole.
He really was.
I hated him. He was probably, honestly, he should have won an Oscar for that shit, because I'm like, they made me hate that motherfucker from first start. From like head to toe. I was like, oh, he a skeezy ass motherfucker. Like the moment they showed him when they were at the record label.
In the barn.
Yeah, and I was just like, there's something about this motherfucker. I don't like him.
Yeah, and then he went and made the movie.
Yeah, I was like, I don't like this motherfucker. But I mean, as far as the story itself goes, I've heard a lot of people complain, and I kind of can understand this point, that the movie is kind of by the numbers. Like, they don't do anything in this that's much different from any other biopic that you'd see about a band or a musician. Like, I mean, did you feel that way? Because Mel, I know you're a big Queen fan.
I am,
and you was praising this movie.
Oh my God.
From here to high heaven. So I mean, what did you think?
Before this movie, I was always a fan of Queen's music, but not really involved in like them as a band.
Sure.
Like, I've always enjoyed Queen's music. Throughout the whole movie, I sang 90% of the songs.
Oh yeah,
I knew them all, and they like. As a kid that grew up in the 90s, a band that was popular in the 70s and 80s, right, it shouldn't have touched me that much, but it did.
Show me on the dial where Queen touched you. Right.
Like, I don't know. I can't explain it, and I've thought about it. The first time I heard a Queen song was in Wayne's World.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
Oh yeah, I think a lot of us
again
who were born after 86 and up, yeah.
Like, I was born in 91, and Wayne's World came out in 92. So it shouldn't have been something that I watched. But it was. It still is one of my favorite movies, and I can't explain why. So that was, like, my first introduction to Queen when I was, I don't know, 4, watching Wayne's World. And then after that, you know, all of the... Anytime you go to a football game in America, you get We Will Rock You.
Boom, boom,
Anytime.
Boom, boom, yeah.
Any sporting event, you know, you get the Mighty Ducks movies that came out in the early mid-90s. You get the We Are the Champions. You get just all of these massive Queen hits. And I think just building on all of that, I was just like, all right, well, Queen is, you know, legendary.
Oh, yeah.
That being said, after I watched the movie, I went back and I started, I don't know, kind of looking into the band itself, not necessarily their music.
Right.
And I loved it even more.
Really?
I did.
Okay.
Even though there were some things that, you know, definitely didn't happen.
No, or didn't happen in
didn't
the
happen the way
that
that
they
it
said it did.
Had said that it did. I still was just like, this is an awesome movie.
Okay.
I think that the directing was, I mean, it was subpar. There wasn't much to direct.
Sure. It wasn't. They didn't do anything like super innovative.
Yeah,
where it was like, oh my god, this is the It
wasn't much to direct, but I mean, the director did his job. The script was well. The visual effects, they had like some lighting issues that were really cool. Again, not much that it's not like Aquaman where you got all these different visuals.
Sure, right.
But the costume designer,
Freddie didn't come out riding a shark.
Yeah,
though that would have been awesome.
That would have been badass. Shark with lasers on his head.
Right. Right.
Freaking lasers with freaking sharks. Anyway, yeah, I mean, the costumes were really well done.
Yeah.
The fact that they took Rami Malek and made him look like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
He said, I saw several interviews where he had these false teeth impressions that these false teeth that he wore for months and months to try to prepare for this.
Yeah.
You know, the way that they shaped him with the long hair, and then they shifted him to the shorter hair, and then
right, with the mustache.
And the Live Aid performance, and all of the sound effects, the fact that he was lip syncing through that whole movie. That was really impressive because you could not tell at all.
Yeah.
I mean, even in parts where he was supposed to be pretending like he was lip syncing, like when they were doing the music videos.
Right.
They said, "Oh, well, you just lip sync it. Really? You want me to lip sync?"
Said, "Bitch, I'm Freddie Mercury. I don't lip sync
like,
shit."
It was funny because he was actually lip syncing through the whole movie.
Right.
And I saw this on a day when I was in a really bad mood. And then I was in a really great mood afterwards. So it was good. And I rented it again this past weekend. Just for the hell of it.
Sure.
And my sister-in-law was kind of in and out of the house. And so I had to keep stopping and playing. And I'm like, will you just leave so that I can watch my movie? It was kind of funny. And I had the dog sitting there with me. And she's just looking at me like, what are you doing, Ma? No, she didn't. She didn't make any noise, but I mean, it was just as good. And I told T-Money, I said, this is something that we have to own.
So
they've got it on sale for like $23 right now. I'm like, not right now, but I have to own this.
So I think I can safely say you liked it from all that.
I really fucking liked it.
Okay.
I don't throw that out there too many times, but
sure.
I did. I really fucking liked this movie. And
well, you gave me a lot more information than I was expecting, so Mel's going to sit out the rest of this review. So.
Yep. That's it. I'm done. Cut print. I'm out the door.
Right. Because the question was, did you feel that this was kind of like a by the numbers biopic and kind of really similar to what other biopics have been like in the past? But you said enough. Benwah,
yes, I did.
What about you? Did you feel like they could have been a little bit more innovative in the storytelling with this, or is this just kind of what you got to expect when it comes to biopics?
This is what I expect. questionably authentic, glossing over the facts so that they don't muse on one thing for too long, trying to paint the band and or just Freddie Mercury, because it's a Queen biopic, in a light that may not necessarily be true. This was very... I don't remember what you said the rating system was like here, but I'm going to use my rating system, which is probably similar. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. It's not really memorable to me.
It'd be a meh. 3 out of 5 is meh. Yeah.
Yeah. These. Now, I knew coming into it that this was not meant to be authentic in the sense that this is not going to be like a... Even though it's a biopic, it's not really a biography. It's going to be a Hollywooded over, which it was. And there's not really any part of it that I found memorable. I don't see myself watching this willfully again. I'm like, I won't say it's bad, but it's not good either. It really is just middle of the road on the spectrum for me. That's
kind of sort of I'm kind of there with both of you, because I'm definitely not a really fucking liked it, but I'm not quite a meh. I'm somewhere in between. That's what I said. Okay. I did like seeing some of the ways that they use the different sounds to incorporate into the songs, and like how they kind of crafted the albums and the songs together, and practicing the guitar riffs, and getting the Galileo, like all that stuff was really fun. Like I enjoyed that, but other than that, nothing really
matters to you.
Right. Matters to the movie. It was just kind of just like, greatest hits, like, just whatever the important, memorable beats and scenes were, we just keep going through that. The best parts of the movie, they don't spend enough time with. Me personally, I thought that they could have spent a lot more time exploring like the dynamic between Freddie and his family, because I thought that was really interesting, like how he was kind of ashamed of his heritage and shit. Because like at the beginning, when he's a what are those people called that take your luggage off the plane? I don't know.
The bag boys.
Whatever the fuck. They're like, oh, hurry up, Packy, or some shit. And he's like, I'm not Pakistani, and this, that, and the other. Like, I thought that was cool. And I would have liked to have seen him, like, dealing with, racism at that time and people not being accepting of him because he comes from, like, a different culture. And even though he, quote unquote, grew up in England, even though he didn't move there until he was, like, a teenager and shit, damn near an adult, like, having him struggle with kind of denying his heritage and kind of not really wanting to be defined by his family and where he came from. Like, I thought that stuff was interesting, but they'd like, oh, we're going to bring it up, but that's not important. Y'all want to see some music and shit. Yeah, come on, play Ruru Rock You again. And I'm just like, yeah, but y'all could have made this so much deeper. And one of the other things that one of the more interesting things to me in the movie was his relationship with Mary. All that stuff was really good, especially when he comes out to her and he's like, oh, I think I might be bisexual. And she's like, Freddie, you're gay. Right. And she's like, why does this always happen to me? And this and the other. Like, the dynamic between them two, those two characters, was the heart and soul of the movie, but they don't spend enough time with it. They're too busy.
Well, they didn't spend any time really with him when he was in a homosexual relationship. All it was partying, drugs, and orgies. That's all it was. It was very shallow, very, 5 minutes of the movie.
No right, exactly. Like, I thought one of the really interesting parts was when he's on the phone with Mary, and she's like, oh, well, I haven't seen you, and this, that, and the other, and then, the trucker comes out, and he's, watching them and shit, go to the bathroom and looking. Like, I was, more subtle stuff like that. I don't necessarily need to see you... I don't need to see Freddie sucking a dick in the stall or some shit like that, but I think a little bit more subtleties alluding to a bigger story, even if you don't have time or that's not what you want to focus on. I just think they kind of, like Benwah said, they kind of just glossed over a lot of the real good stuff. And the relationship between him and Peter and their falling out and all that kind of stuff, and how he manipulated Freddie and turned against the manager and got him fired and all that other kind of shit when they throw him out the limo. I'm like, all that was good, but it's just like, all right, we did that. All right, now let's go do a concert and shit and play Love of My Life and, you know, all that. And I'm like, I get it. People want to see the songs. People are going to be mad if they come near and they don't hear the songs and they don't see them perform and learn how they made it. But I felt like the movie could have been more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Mel's looking at me like, shut the fuck up, bitch. It was perfect.
I am not.
But I mean, but do you get what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't necessarily know if... I don't know. For me, like, that's not what I wanted. Like, the little bit that we had with Peter, that was plenty. Because you could see that he was a conniving little snake,
Mm-hmm.
and you knew that he didn't really love him. He was just using him.
You mean
Peter,
Paul?
Paul.
Yeah, whatever his name is, yeah.
And Mary?
Yeah,
You mean
yeah,
Paul,
yeah.
not
Paul
Peter. Yes,
Printer
that's
is his
fine.
name,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, you can see that he's a snake and that he's no good for Freddy.
Mm.
And I really didn't want to see the parts of him that I did see.
True, but like I said, he was an integral part of Freddy's life, and it's like, I feel like if you're gonna tell the story of how he kind of spiraled into like drugs and debauchery and all this other kind of stuff, that he's an important element of that.
True.
But at the same time, I feel kind of bad for that guy in real life, if he's even still alive, because they made his character into do things that didn't really happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, and here shortly I'm going to get to the artistic licenses that they took with the movie that kind of almost pushed me down to a mad, because I'm like, I don't know, y'all. Like, what is this exactly? I'm like, y'all just made a bunch of shit up. But Paul never actually kept the whole Live Aid thing from Freddy. That's all bullshit. That's just for the movie.
Right.
Like, they knew about it well before it happened. It was a choice, like, initially that Freddy wasn't going to go because I guess the guy who organized it did another event prior to that, some charitable event, and did not invite Queen. So he was kind of almost boycotting Live Aid until he changed his mind. So that whole element of him manipulating him like that and this and the other, all that's just bullshit and made up. Not only that, the only reason that he stopped being with Paul in the first place was because Paul threw a party at one of Freddy's apartments or homes somewhere and just completely destroyed it. And that's what broke them up. Not because Mary came and saw him and was like, well, you don't even talk to me no more and you're loved and this and the other. All that's just dramatic bullshit that they put in the movie.
Sure.
So that kind of frustrated me because I'm like, that was a good, deep moment. And for like him to realize that, okay, you know, I've lost sight of who I am and this is not why I, you know, became a singer in the first place. I did it, you know, for the love of the music and not for all this fame and drugs and people, you know, love me. Like, I did it because I enjoy doing it. And then I've turned on the people who care about me. None of that shit happened. All this bullshit. It was just like, you fucked up my house. So fuck you. I don't want to be with you no more. So, which I get. Maybe that could be seen as making Freddy more shallow, I guess, if that was his reasoning for breaking up with Paul. But if that's how it went down, that's how it went down. Like, you can't... I don't know.
Well, they portrayed him as a prima donna who was hedonist. He was just a gay, drug-dealing prima donna. Or not drug-dealing, drug-doing gay prima donna.
Freddie was like, I got these rocks, baby!
No. And it's like, no. I realize you're taking creative license because you want to make a film and you want to have Freddie Mercury have his whole redemption at the end. But if this is supposed to be a biopic, don't make the lead vocalist of the band a fucking asshole.
Right, if he wasn't really like that. Exactly.
Right.
But,
yeah. And the band... And the one thing I actually did have to look up after I watched the film, because, like, behind the music and all that other shit I've seen about Queen or before, I never remember the band breaking up. So I saw the film, I'm like, they broke up. They never broke up.
That it was not true.
As
in the movie, it was not true.
I know they had some issues, like all bands do, but the band never actually broke up.
No, that's totally artistic license, quote unquote. But I have another question for you guys, and this one I'll pose to Mel. I'll let you come off the bench.
Thanks, Coach.
Right? Did you? All right, put me in, Coach. Come on. So did you think that as far as his portrayal of Freddy, did you think that Rami Malek did a good job?
I do.
Okay.
Visually, he looked a lot like Freddy did.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
And real quick, you know who Sacha Baron Cohen is?
yes.
He was going to play Freddy initially until they had creative differences and he left the movie.
Mhm.
And honestly, I think if you can get anybody that kind of has the build of those guys and just throw that fucking mustache on them and some teeth, you know, you can make a lot of people look like Freddie
Sure,
Mercury. So
sure.
that, but I mean, it's more as far as like his mannerisms and
I
like,
mean,
yeah.
I think so. Especially when he was on stage. Freddie Mercury is a very complicated individual and is very difficult to capture, I would think. Especially as eccentric as he was.
That's a good way to put it, eccentric. I would say flamboyant.
Flamboyantly eccentric, yes.
Sure.
But that's
fair. Mm-hmm.
I think getting somebody that can capture him on stage, not just the build
Right.
and the mustache and the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
I think getting somebody that can move around a stage like he did and capture an audience like he did, I think that Rami Malek did a good job with that.
Okay. What about you, Benwah? Now, my question for you would be, how do you feel that the band was represented in this movie? Because the band,
What band?
the
This was a Freddie Mercury
see
story.
that's funny because I believe it's Brian May and Roger Taylor still control the music and film rights to Queen,
Mm-hmm.
and because John Deacon he don't have anything to do with the band anymore, I don't believe. But they still, have ownership rights and stuff like that. And they had a lot of input into the movie because I guess one of the creative differences that made them have a falling out with Sacha Baron Cohen in the first place was that Cohen wanted to make the movie focus more on Freddy and they wanted a bigger role in the movie. Do you think that they were anything more than just kind of cardboard cutouts? Because I didn't really feel like they were really characters.
They were supporting actors. Their characters in no way evolved. Everybody just got older as time moved on, and they had families. But there was no character development like there was with Freddy's character.
No, I agree. That's why I was really surprised that I was like, so what did y'all have a falling out about? Because it's still Freddy's movie. Like, what exactly?
And do you notice there was like one, maybe more than one, but there was one specific, well, I think a couple times, where Freddy his drug habit was starting to get to him and everything. The band would always be there, and Freddy would show up to where the band was. Like, that was pretty much the movie. Where Freddy goes is what we show.
Right.
And it really did gloss over a lot of what Freddie Mercury went through, and some of it was just made up. But this was a movie that pretty much followed Freddie Mercury. You never really saw any of the bandmates in any real significant scenes where it was just the band or any one member of the band. It was always the band and then Freddie and then the band. And then they'd all be together when they were, recording or playing music or arguing.
Yeah, I think literally the only
never the
scene
band.
that they have where it's just the band members is right at the beginning, right before they meet Freddie for the first time, and they're sitting in the truck, and the lead singer quits the band, and they're sitting there discussing about, like, well, what are they going to do, and this, that, and the other, and then the scene before Freddie shows up when they're coming up with We Will Rock You. That's the only times you spend any time with those characters for any more than, like, 30 seconds without Freddie being there. And I was just kind of like, well, what was y'all trying to get out of this movie? Because whatever it was, y'all didn't get it. They cut that shit out. Because I'm like, you don't see any of their, like you said, there's no character progression with them. You don't find out anything about their lives besides, some of them got married or whatever, and one dude didn't want to cut his hair. I'm like, that, but other than that, I'm like, that's it. I'm like, y'all weren't even.
And the one came up with like just the bass line, the drum,
to another one bites the dust. Yeah. Or no, yeah. And I'm just like, well,
I would say the one that did the bass line was Another One Bites the Dust. The
Yeah,
one
yeah,
that
and then
did
the stomp clap.
Stomp
yeah.
clap. That was We Will Rock You.
Yeah, it was John Deacon was the one for Another One Bites the Dust, and it was Roger Taylor was the
We Will Rock You.
yeah.
But still,
no, I'm sorry, Brian May. I'm sorry.
Brian did.
But still, there was no development of that. It was just a scene where, hey, I got this idea, let's do it. It was no evolution of that idea. I got this idea, okay, take 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Next thing you know, we have a full song made.
Right, and they just kind of sprinkled in like, oh, such and such wrote this song and, did the arrangement for this song or whatever, and they kept ragging on, oh boy, about that I Love My Car song, which do they ever actually play that in the movie?
No.
I've never heard that one, and I need to go look it up.
When they're releasing it to the record and Freddie's like slipping it to the record like it's not supposed to be released.
Yeah.
The guy goes to put on the record and
right, he was like, I
I
love my car. He's like, no, other side, the B side.
Side.
No, hell no. Yeah, because Ray Foster, he was like, oh yeah, that's a hit, and this, that, and the other. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there is a very big cameo in this movie.
Yes, there is.
Now, Ben, do you remember the record exec who they were playing Bohemian Rhapsody for?
It goes on
mean Mike
forever.
Yes. Ray Foster is played by Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Now, like Mel had brought up earlier, one of the things that repopularized Queen, and especially that song Bohemian Rhapsody in the 90s, was movie Wayne's World.
You know that Mike Myers had to fight to get Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yes. He actually threatened to quit the movie if they didn't put it in.
It was supposed to be Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, they wanted them to play something more contemporary rock for that time.
Well, yep.
Yeah,
we talked about this on a previous podcast.
That is true. We did. And so when they came to him and offered him a part in the movie, apparently he just said yes without even reading the script. He's like, yes, I'll do it. Yes, who dick I gotta suck? Yes, I will dig up Freddie Mercury's dead body and suck his dick if I got to. I want to be in the fucking movie. So I thought that was cool. And it took me a minute to recognize him at first, because when they were going through, because the scene is in the trailer, but they don't show him before a second in the trailer. So I didn't recognize that was Mike Myers.
His voice.
His voice
is what threw it for me.
Yeah, but as it was going on, I was like, that's Mike Myers. I was like, I knew he was going to be somewhere in his movie, and I was like, that's him. Because I was wondering, like, they're spending a lot of time on this one scene. Like, this is going on for, because they were talking about how, he was like, it goes on for 6 bloody minutes or something like that, and he's...
Goes on forever.
Yeah.
6 bloody minutes.
Yeah.
I fear for your wife if you think that 6 minutes is forever.
Right. right. And
it was about Bohemian Rhapsody, the name of the film. So I get it.
I do too, but it made more sense to me when they spent a lot of time on them coming up with the song and recording it and all the Galileos and all that shit, more so than them trying to pitch it to the record exec. But oddly enough, Ray Foster does not exist.
No.
Nope.
That is not a real person.
No.
Ray Foster is an amalgamation of a bunch of other record execs who didn't think that the song would do well on the radio and this, that, and the other. Now, they do have to fight for it and, try to get it on the radio, and a DJ does play it, and that's how it gets heard, and yada, yada, yada.
You know that Mike Myers did a callback to Wayne's World in that scene?
No. What was it?
He says, this'll never be a song that kids...
Oh,
put in their
headbang
car
too.
and
Yeah.
headbang too.
Yeah,
And that is a direct, thing from Wayne's World.
And then he looks at the camera and he's like, ding, and winks and shit.
Because that is what he did in Wayne's World. And
that's funny.
That's what they did. They put it in and they headbanged to Bohemian Rhapsody.
I totally forgot about that. You're absolutely right. But, I mean... I just kept, and after he's like, oh, I won't play it, and they quit, and they're like, oh, you will forever be known as the man who lost Queen or whatever, and I was like, it's kind of fucked up that they would go through all the trouble to do all that, because people who don't go research this, they're going to think, oh, that guy, he lost that band, and it's like, that person doesn't exist.
Right.
Like, that, he just made him up for the movie. So I thought that was kind of like, but, I mean, like I said, if you've seen one biopic, you've kind of seen them all. Like, it is kind of difficult. That's why I'm really interested to see what happens with this Rocket Man movie, because they're kind of making it more like a musical fantasy, more so than a biopic.
Yeah.
So they're going to pretty much up front be like, yeah, a lot of this shit's going to be just a bunch of made up bullshit. But at least they're being straight up with it. and not trying to go like, yes, this is how it happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then AIDS, and then this happened. And it's like, So, just to recap, I am giving it a liked it. Mel really fucking liked it.
Yes.
And Benwah is at a meh, which I'm almost at a meh with Benwah because of the artistic licenses that they took. But overall, the songs and I think the acting, and especially, you know what? I thought it was I was kind of like shocked that Rami Malek won Best Actor for the Academy Awards this year. But thinking back on it and after watching the movie, I'm like, the fact that he could fight them fucking teeth that whole movie, because them prosthetic teeth, like, I've seen pictures of Freddie Mercury. Yes, he had an overbite and shit like that, and they even make a joke about, like, oh, Freddie, why don't you get your teeth fixed? He's like, well, I live in England, I wouldn't want to stand out or something like that. Like, so they acknowledge it, but Freddie Mercury teeth wasn't that goddamn bad.
No.
Like, they did his mouth dirty in this movie, because when the trailer came out, I made a joke about, where he's like, this is from the apparatus, second comes in, and it was just like, god damn, his teeth wasn't that fucking big. Jesus Christ, man. Like, y'all, I felt like the whole movie, he was just like, it was a battle between, like, that's the best part. Fuck all the shit I said about the drama and shit before. The drama of that movie was, are them fake ass teeth gonna fall out of his mouth in mid-sentence? Because, Jesus, man. But, real quick, before we completely jump off this, I wanted to just give some fun facts about the movie. Now, I said I was going to bring up the whole Bryan Singer thing. According to the BBC, film production was rough. The film's producers and lead star Rami Malek had grown tired of director Bryan Singer's erratic behavior, which saw him routinely showing up late to set or disappearing altogether. In 2017, after Thanksgiving break, Singer disappeared from filming for 3 days straight, at which point cinematographer Newton Thomas Siegel had to step in and direct during Singer's absence. Reports claim that Singer left because of a family matter. A couple of days after this report, 20th Century Fox fired Singer from the film due to his erratic behavior on and off the set and clashes with production personnel. Matters would get much worse for Singer as the next day, 20th Century Fox terminated his Bad Hat Harry production deal with the studio. Fox began canvassing for a new director to finish up production with 2 weeks of filming still remaining. All of post-production and with potential reshoots. The new director, Dexter Fletcher, commenced production after New Year's of 2017. So a good, probably 3/4 of this movie were already done filming by Bryan Singer, and then the other guy came in and finished it up. Now, there probably was reshoots and that kind of stuff, but for the most part, this is Bryan Singer's movie still.
Right.
That being said, artistic liberties.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie was actually a roommate of the band and never actually met them at the show after the lead singer quit. He knew them, and they had this band smile and all that shit. And when the lead singer quit, yes, Freddie did come in and take over, and then they became Queen. But he didn't just, I've been following you guys for a while and showed up at their show.
With it.
Yeah, right. None of that shit happened. That was all bullshit. Also, Mary Austin actually dated Brian May before she got with Freddie. And Freddie wasn't sure how serious they were, talked to Brian about it and asked if he could date her, and Brian broke up with her, and then they got together. So that whole, he saw her at the show and then was at a clothing thing at a store, and she came in the dressing room, bullshit. All that's bullshit. Also, Jim Hutton was never Freddie's servant. Now, Jim is the guy who he gets with by the end of the movie.
Right. Who's
at the stage behind the scenes watching him during the Live Aid concert.
Right.
He was actually a hairdresser at a hotel, and Freddie met him at a bar, and Jim actually turned down a drink from Freddie, and they met again a year later. So all that shit about them having this heart-to-heart at one of his drug-fueled parties, and him like, I like you, Freddie, like, come find me when you like yourself, and I'm looking for this motherfucker in the phone book and all this, all that's bullshit. Bullshit. Also, the band never actually broke up, like Benwah brought up. And Freddie was not the first band member to make a solo album, because they make a whole big thing in the movie about, like, he fired the manager because he comes to him with, like, a record deal with somebody else, and he's like, oh, I would never break up Queen. That's my family, this, that, and the other. And then 5 minutes later, he's like, yeah, I took that deal to go be a solo album, and everybody's all mad. And like Benwah said, they make him into this, like, diva asshole for the drama of the movie, but that never actually happened. John Deacon actually had 2-3 solo albums, I believe, during the course of time that Queen was together. So by the time Freddie did it, that was old hat. They was like, these motherfuckers been going off and doing their own thing.
Right.
Also, they were actually on tour weeks before the Live Aid event. So this whole, we broke up and we ain't played together in years, and this is our first time back together at this Live Aid concert, and we gotta practice and, get Freddie's singing voice back and all that. Bullshit. They were just out promoting their most recent album right before they went to that concert. So I'm like, why? I don't know. And then this is the insult to injury. Hey, don't you be rolling your eyes at me. This is what made me mad at the movie and I almost lowered my rating. Freddie was not diagnosed with AIDS until almost 2 years after Live Aid. So that whole shit of, I found out I got AIDS and, I feel bad, so now I got to get the band back together and I got to do this one last important big show before I die from AIDS. He probably didn't even know he was sick at that point. And I'm just like, it was just all bullshit. And I get it. You take artistic liberties to try to create drama and make a story out of someone's life. But I just feel like by the end of it, after everything that I learned, I'm like, I feel like I just watched like a 13th hand telling of somebody's life story and not actually anything that was based in anything factual. So that being said, though.
Fake news.
Right. Like,
I'm done with both of y'all.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the
movie. How do you feel
movie.
about the movie now?
Right, I know, right.
I still really fucking like it, okay?
Okay, I mean, I enjoyed the movie for what it was, but I would rather them had did it kind of like they are planning on doing the Rocket Man movie or some other biopics where it's like we were inspired by true events, but none of this shit, don't take any of this to heart, all of this shit with a grain of salt, because this did not go down like this.
Well, they never said that it was based on true story or that it was the true story.
That's fair.
They never promoted it as such.
I don't know. It's like the story of Freddie Mercury and the legendary Queen. Like that
You don't have to explicitly say this is going to be a true story of a person and or the band. You promote this band's music. People are going to think, it's about the band.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the fuck I thought watching it. Like, yeah. And like I said, because like you said, I just knew their music. I didn't know really anything about the band itself. So I was just like, I don't know. And I'm curious because like the original script that they had for the movie, the band didn't like it because they didn't feel that they were incorporated into it enough. And it's like, and this was better. It's like, honestly, I feel like the band was like, make Freddie an asshole and a diva.
Could have been.
And he broke us up. Yeah, write that in there. And Freddie rolling over in his fucking grave like, these motherfuckers got me out here being an ass clown. And I ain't do half of this bullshit. But, so yeah, I would recommend it. Like I said, I don't necessarily feel quite as strongly as you do, Mel, to where I need to own it. But if it was on, I would watch it. Sure, but there was nothing really in it. The best part of the movie was the Live Aid event. Like how they recreated that whole stage and the crowds and everything in his performance.
Now, did you see it on... Did you see it in theaters or did you see it on DVD?
No, I saw it on DVD.
Okay, so you got to experience the whole Live Aid event.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they cut out part of the Live Aid event for the theater version.
Really?
Yeah. And if you rented it on DVD like I did, then you got to see the entire Live Aid performance. It was like one of the extras at the end.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't watch special features.
Okay,
so I don't know.
You just saw the theater version of the Live Aid event.
Yeah. Which it did go on for a decent amount of time. I mean, they kind of smash songs together and stuff and kind of...
Sure.
Like you got kind of abridged version of what the show was. But yeah, I mean,
but if you get a chance, check out the full performance. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or somewhere.
Oh, from the movie or the actual performance itself?
No, from the movie.
Okay. Because there's still footage out there of the Live Aid event.
Yeah. Somehow, some way, somebody got, a hold of the tapes from CBS.
Yeah. But I mean, I would recommend it. And DJ Melly Mel highly recommends it.
Highly, yes.
Yeah, and Benwah's like, well, I guess if you trip over the shit in the aisle at Walmart, I guess you can pick it up. Like, whatever.
I tend to rate things 1 to 5 because it's like, what's the difference between a 6 and a 7? But in this case, I would give it a probably 2.5, 5 out of 10, or 3 out of 5. It's what I recommend somebody watch it. If you like Queen and you like their music, go ahead, but take what they give you with a grain of salt.
Yeah, the biggest grain. More like a bag of salt is probably more appropriate at this point. Salt. Yeah, because go into it knowing
pour it
that.
Out on your driveway right now.
Right. Right.
Well, when the sun's out.
Yeah. Because I just feel like if you go into this like I did, thinking that these are going to be actual events and how it was portrayed, actually you're gonna be kind of bummed by the end to find out like, this shit is not, like I said at the beginning.
See, I didn't go into it looking for it like that.
Well, that was the whole point. I've heard the songs, I've listened to them, they on my phone. I love Queen. I don't want to just go to the movie to see somebody else play out the songs. I want to know, how did they come together? How did we get to this place? What was his life like? Like, how did he feel after he was diagnosed with AIDS? Because I get it. They end the movie with the Live Aid event, so a lot of stuff that happened after that, they kind of truncated it earlier in the timeline, so you can still see it, because, like I said, he wasn't diagnosed with AIDS till after that.
Right.
So it's like, well, if we're going to touch on that, and if this is where we want to end the movie, we have to kind of change how shit happened.
Right.
But still, though, I just feel like the way Freddie was portrayed, I felt like they kind of did him a disservice, because they made him seem more of a selfish diva than what he probably really was.
Yeah.
That's my biggest issue, but it's okay. It's okay to be wrong. We don't judge people on One Giant Leap for Geeks, Mel. We still love you no matter what.
That's what our whole show is.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I know Ben does.
All right.
We've already established I like bad movies.
No, it's not a bad movie. Not at all. Look,
but I do like bad movies.
We've seen some stinkers, and we've disagreed on some of them. We've agreed on others. Yes. I'm not gonna keep kicking that dead horse, but yes. So yeah, I mean, thank you for doing this review with me, guys, and thank you guys for sitting and listening to this. I hope that you enjoyed it, and maybe you learned a little bit of something. But that is it for the show. Remember, you can always find us at our home, onegiantleapforgeeks.libsyn.com. We are on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Make sure to go show us some love, though, and go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, rate, follow, review, and all that shit.
And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, criticisms, or you ever just want to say hi, you can always email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. We're on Facebook, Reddit, Instagram. I'm on Pinterest. All you have to do is search for One Giant Leap for Geeks. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye.